Service media, an introduction. The question we ask is this: how can we answer the demand for change effectively, transparently, inclusively, and measurably within communities, organizations, and movements? How do we go from chaos and digital discontent to coherent, measurable, outcome-based action? Social media has become both a tool and an obstacle to the practice of community building and democracy itself. We as individuals now have the ability to reach the globe with our thoughts, opinions, positions, and ideas within seconds. On our social media platforms, we have the ability to influence others, sway opinions, and create perceptions, whether they are based on fact or something less than fact. These perceptions often then become the basis for action. What happens when these perceptions are not based on fact, but on the fabrication of fact? The resulting actions become fundamentally flawed. For individuals participating in the democratic process, be it as a voter, a city council person, a community leader, or a leader in the private sector, being able to obtain credible information derived from the source is critical. Being able to identify community needs and priorities from those on the ground capable of conveying real-time conditions is critical. Being able to determine the necessary and immediate actions, communicate those action objectives, and measure performance toward meeting such objectives is more important at this moment in time than it has ever been in the history of democracy. The successful practice of community building requires fully transparent access to information in the public domain, information based on fact. Just as social media is a global tool for communication and influence, it is also proving to be fraught with obstacles, a social dilemma. Our human desire for belonging and acceptance drives us to migrate to the like-minded in our online communities. Our desire to avoid conflict and embrace the familiar and agreeable inevitably creates silos of thought, inhabited by those who will, more or less, support our own belief systems and values. It is here that human nature and the promise of social media collide and descend into narrow lanes of information sharing, isolating groups of like-minded and reinforcing disparity and distrust with others. Information becomes selectively distributed, amplified strategically, and inevitably used as a weapon against those holding opposing values, thoughts, and opinions. The landscape in which community building and democracy are to be practiced becomes a minefield of information manipulation and destruction. How are we to move forward and beyond the pitfalls of the media landscape we now find ourselves in? How do we use the gifts of a wired world for positive, lasting change? Our answer? Transform social media behaviors into service media actions. What is service media? How does it differ from social media? There is an emerging genre of online tools we have, with research, deemed worthy of the term service media. The key identifier shared by service media platforms is the ability to provide transparent, open access, user participation in creating, implementing, and measuring citizen-based actions, actions that build flourishing communities. Leveraging the acquired behaviors of social media users, service media provides us with the ability to move beyond comments, opinions, and bots, and into fact-driven, solution-based outcomes necessary for citizen-created change, lasting change. Sound exciting? We think so too. Please look for our next video in this series and subscribe to our channel by clicking the link below. Until next time.